Yor, thank you so much for coming by and welcome to Realistic Happiness.
It's very nice to be here. Thank you for your invite.
So, what are you hoping if someone stumbles on this episode or is a fan of ours or a fan of yours? What are you hoping for listeners to learn on this episode?
I hope to learn a bit about positive masculinity, about finding themselves, about learning who they truly are, showing empathy, how to be a man in this world that's, well, getting crazier with the minute, that's asking us to be harder, to be emotionless, and stuff like that. I hope they learn to see who do I want to be and who do I want to become and how can I go on that golden path? Yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
my gosh. I just imagine like, because you said the golden path and
yeah.
everything. This could be a whole initiative, and you could have you done groups or just individual?
Currently at the moment, I'm doing with individuals. My initiative, Gouden Pad, well, Golden Path in English. I'm actually planning on doing man circles, where men gather around and can show towards each other their weaknesses, their strengths, how to be a man in this world, and not one of those toxic guys like Tate or Baudet or uh, whoever we have now, but to be a compassionate man who knows how to express his emotions, who knows how to be a safe haven for everyone.
So, talk us through positive masculinity then. What does that mean to you, and how does that differ from the other stereotypes that we have?
Positive masculinity is all about embracing your inner man, about showing your emotions without becoming too extreme. It's not about putting everything away. But if you're sad and want to cry, just cry, man. Just cry. Don't, well, in Dutch, it's opkroppen.
Like, bottle it up.
Yeah, bottle it up. Yes, that's exactly the word I was searching for. Don't bottle up your emotions. Uh, Make sure that you're bringing them out, that you're expressing them. Um, Make sure that you're feeling everything that you want to feel. That makes you a more stable person. But positive masculinity is also about taking care of others in a good way. Don't mansplain things. Just always ask from, well, I can help you with that. Do you mind if I help you with that? It's asking consent, not only on where we all know consent from, but also on, well, I know a bit or two about this subject. Do you want me to help or do you want to complain? That's it. That's that's all you need to do. It's about being a good person towards everyone, trying to help others, and also staying true to yourself.
I think the biggest stigma or concern that men have at the moment is to like appear less masculine if
Yeah,
they are
yeah,
emotional.
yeah. That's true. Because most of us, actually almost all of us, learn from a young age that we can't show emotion. Well, we can show one emotion, and that's anger. Can be angry, we can be aggressive, and that's what we need to show towards other men. From like, one, oh, look at me, that. No, no, no. That's scary
Mm,
towards others. That's
mm.
scary to the ones you wish to protect. Show happiness, show sadness, show anger, but try to keep that with yourself. Try to give it an outlet through maybe art, maybe music, maybe stuff like that. But don't bash in walls or throw with stuff. Well, you can always lift some of those heavy metal plates in the gym. That's perfectly fine to do that. But make sure that it's always within boundaries, that you don't scare people away. Because nowadays, a lot of men don't know how to express their emotions. And if they do, they get told, um, what are you? A sissy? A pussy? No, we need to stop that. We need to learn, man, young man, older man, that it's okay to cry, to be happy, to express themselves. Because that way we can get more stable mental health. Um, and that will help men with overcoming all their weaknesses and become stronger, more stable individuals.
How big of a problem is this? Because obviously you're embedded in this, you do
Yeah.
research. Is this really a big, big problem?
It's actually a big problem. It's almost epidemic. Um, the thing is, if men don't express their emotions and don't talk to each other with, well, hey man, what you're doing now is not okay. It means that we create an unsafe world, that we are contributing to the patriarchy, that we're actually contributing towards the violence pyramid. That's a very interesting study of Emancipator. The violence pyramid goes from, well, locker room talk, from well, I will do her, or he likes men, and it goes all the way up to murder.
Wow.
Yeah, if you don't root out the evil from the bottom, it will work towards murder, and that's the violence pyramid. That's something Emancipator is talking a lot about. It's something that I'm also talking about and trying to be a bit more nuanced within, with a lot of examples. Well, I've already written one blog for in the future about locker room talk, about, hey, what do you do if you see that happening? What do you say towards your mates, towards your brothers? If you see them talking about someone in a very negative way, what can you do about that? And if you don't do that, what will it lead to?
And that's I hear about it as well. I've been unfortunate enough to speak with friends and they've been through stuff like this. And you see it more on the news as well, like violence happening behind closed doors with people you love and people you are close with,
Yeah,
which is terrifying, especially if you're on the dating scene. If it's your dad or if it's your brother, if it's, you know, it's really scary to like be on the other side. And I'm so glad you're openly spreading the word and not in a biased way, but you're just giving out the news and you're telling people how they can navigate their emotions
yeah,
and their feelings.
yeah. Because I've been a part of the negative side. Um, I've been a terrible man, and a few years ago, I got a wake up call. Everything completely went to, well, I don't know if I can you bleep out shit? Then,
We're allowed to swear on the
yeah,
podcast.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, everything in my life went to shit, and I got a wake up call. And that's when I decided I don't want to go further on this path. I need to change. I need to find myself. And in that process, I found myself, and still there are some things I need to learn, because you'll never stop learning. But on that path I'm walking, I've decided, well, if I can do that, everyone can do that. And it's a hard path. It's with nasty turns, and sometimes you stray off and then you need to get back. And sometimes you can't even see where you're going. And that's where I come in. That's where I say from, well, brother, come walk with me. Come talk with me. And I know what you've been through. I've seen it all. I've had someone die in my arms. I've seen people get beaten up. I've seen people get stabbed. I was stabbed. So yeah, it's um I know what's happening. I know the dark side of the internet. I know the dark side of the red pilled incel community. I know all about the toxic masculinity. I know all about how they reel in young men into that toxic influence, because I fell into that trap and I got out of it. And that's why I started the initiative of Golden Path, to help young men find their own masculinity in a good way, in a positive way, so that they can be allies towards everyone who needs an ally, towards queer people, towards trans people, towards women, towards, well, everyone who needs someone to be their friend, to be their ally. Yeah.
It's an amazing initiative, and I'm so sorry that you went through horrendous things. And it's just really, really eye-opening. I mean, we see these things on the news. It's kind of glamorized, like you said, the
Yeah.
Andrew Tate kind of movements and stuff. Pictured as, oh men, like, come on, we need to reclaim our power. What's happening to us? And that's really concerning. But also, I see on the news, like, I saw in Egypt, like, someone was murdered because they were queer. And
Yeah.
in Italy, where I'm from, it's so stigmatized to be anything but an Italian, romantic, strong man
Yeah.
with no emotions who plays women around like they're toys. And it's, yeah, like, it's 2024. Like,
Yeah.
are you surprised that we have such a long way to go?
Um, I'm not surprised. Um, what I'm actually surprised about is that we're going back towards conservative roots. Um, my generation, the millennial generation, is very open about queerness, about their emotions. Well, we still have some struggles with it to express them because the generations before us, well, they didn't talk about stuff. What concerns me is that Gen Z is actually more conservative than the millennial generation. There are studies from Germany, France, Spain, uh, the United States, where they see that the Gen Z males are actually far more conservative than millennials. They're even on the same level as the silent generation and the boomer generation on a lot of topics. That concerns me because that's um, actually a backwards motion we're currently going to. And if we don't watch out, it's going to be the 1930s all over again. And that's something I'm concerned about. And that's why I'm talking a lot about be an ally for people, try to be open and supportive. If you don't know something, talk with people. Um, I also make mistakes with pronouns. Sometimes I forget them for, that someone uses they them, and they say from, well, you're I use they them. Oh yeah, right. Sorry. But they know I always try to do that, and well, that's a big difference from like 10 years ago, where I said
Mm.
from, well, there's only men, there's only women,
Mm.
and everything in between doesn't exist. I don't think about that anymore. I think from, well, everyone has the right to be who they are, and if I can help them as a white male, well, use my privileges. Tell me, what do I need to do? I already tried to talk to my mates, to my brothers, to every man in my inner circle and outer circle. And if I do something stupid, tell me, and I will change my ways. Um, like last year, I used a term that was actually a bit ancient, and someone said, "Well, could you use the other term actually to be a bit more progressive?" I said, "Oh, did I use it wrong?" Yeah, yeah, and they said, "Well, I know you mean it well. Could you use the other term?"
Mm.
So, well, okay. From now on, I'm using that term. That it's simple as that. Just if someone asks you to do something that makes them feel safer and happier, what's the problem? Nothing. Um, it's just a little tweak in your daily communication that helps others to be more happy, to be more, to, yeah, to let them more express themselves from who they want to be.
Yeah, it's about being curious
Yes.
and accepting. instead
Exactly.
of being
Yeah.
stubborn,
Yeah.
accepting, letting it into your world and just learning about it.
Yeah.
And it's fine to make a mistake. I've also been there, done that when I accidentally said she when it's they, them. I was like, sorry.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt. They
Mm.
understood. I apologized. But I'm just so shocked about the research with the US, with Spain,
Yeah.
etc. about because I understand from previous generations where it was a bit more shielded, there wasn't public news and they didn't have the internet,
Yeah.
right? To
Yeah.
be a bit more like in your own bubble, like I'm a husband, I have a wife, my kids, we live a normal life. I go to work, she stays at home, etc. Like I remember those times and that's
Yeah.
fine. That's the information they had. But like millennials, of course, we're in that in between where it was like the pre-internet versus now, we're a
Yeah.
bit more like woke. But I'm shocked with Gen Z. Like I
Yeah.
am extremely shocked. They have the all the information in their hands.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the millennial generation who grew up with the start of the internet, there were no algorithms back then. It was just pure
Mm.
information, nothing that could feed you stuff. It was just there. And if you needed something, you had to search for it. Now you get feed information by reels, by stories, TikToks, other stuff, but everything is inside an algorithm bubble. If you like a lot of cat pictures, you get a lot of cat pictures. If you watched more than 5 seconds of a video explaining that you need to buy a certain car to be a more dominant man, you're going to get more reels about that certain car to get, yeah,
Mm.
to get you all hooked up. Um, that's currently the problem. A lot of the news, a lot of the research, it's between between apostrophes, is that's all about what people say. Um, there's no research behind it, no way to check up on the information because it's a constant stream of information and people don't want to read that anymore. A lot of the younger generations are getting a lot of misinformation, all fed through the algorithms of the bigger tech companies. And that's why there's a complete turnaround in more conservative information. Because if you, for example, I needed a new YouTube account for my own initiative. So I made that up. And the first thing I saw when I selected that I was a man, Tate, Peterson, Tate, all the way through. And then,
Really?
yeah, and then I thought, what if I make an account and I say I'm a woman? Completely different.
Yes.
Yeah, it's if you make a new account, you get fed so much misinformation, so much toxic masculinity, toxic other things, because it's all rage baiting. It's all about getting you to be angry about something because that sells.
Mm.
A normal, nuanced view is almost not possible anymore because it's all about raging.
Like X,
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah, yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah, X is a toxic shithole.
you heard it here first.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yesterday, Stephen King actually said goodbye to X, to Twitter. Actually, I'm going to say Twitter because I am not going to use that new term because Elon Musk, well, is transphobic fascist. Um, Stephen King left Twitter because he said it's becoming more worse than what I've ever thought that it would be. And he went on threads and everyone welcomed him and said, the king is here.
Mm.
Because he said, well, Musk is the first lady. Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
got banned from Twitter because he said that.
So not even they say it's open expression and
Yeah, but
freedom
if
of speech, but it's not.
no, it's not. It's not. If you're talking about basic human rights, basic human empathy, sympathy, everything about making sure that the world is a safe place, you got, well, scream that is a little. Yeah.
tame. It's
It-
abusive. It's
it's
borderline
abusive.
abusive.
It's not borderline abusive. It is
Yeah,
abusive.
yeah,
It's a
yeah, yeah.
toxic community that actually, if any company stays on Twitter right now, you can actually tell them you're helping that toxic community to stay active. You are a part of the problem. We need to abolish Twitter, and we need to abolish the whole idea that you can just scream profanities at someone and not learning other people's views. You don't need to be tolerant towards the intolerant. You need to stop the intolerant. Because if you tolerate the intolerant, you will get intolerance all the way, and the voices of progression, of tolerance are muted. And that's what's happening on Twitter.
And it's feeding into that toxic
Yeah.
activity. And when you mentioned The King is Back of Stephen
Yeah.
King, it made me think about the fact that most men I know, and when I go on Instagram and stuff, they all want to be kings. They all want to
Yeah.
be the alphas.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Any man who calls himself a king is no king at all. Um, we can't all be kings. We need leaders, not bosses. We need men who can express themselves, men who can work together as a tribe, as a community. We need men who can work with women, who can work with non-binary people. We need people who can work together in a community. We don't need kings. We need leaders. We need colleagues. We need brothers. We need fathers. We need mentors. We need people who know who they are, what they can provide, what they can do to make the world a better place.
Just so many examples came in my head of like toxic alpha males, or who they
Yeah.
think they are. You've mentioned to me previously that there's like different kind of categories, right? There's
Yeah.
alpha. There's some I never even heard about. Could you
Mm.
take us through like the responsibility or like the character traits of each one, like alpha, beta?
Oh, do we have 5 minutes? Because within 1 hour, I'm not done yet.
Just brief, like the main
Yeah.
ones.
We all know the alpha. The thing is, everyone thinks that the alpha is the uber wolf, the gorilla man, the king that takes no for an answer. It's actually more nuanced. They're leaders, yes, but there's the thing: they're leaders, not bosses. They take responsibility. They take leadership, but they always make sure that everyone is heard, that everyone knows what they must do, and they know how to delegate if they don't know how to do something. And that's where, for example, the beta male comes in. They are not really leaders, but they know how to do stuff. They're more professionalized in a certain direction, and they can help others. They're more like the architects of stuff. Then we have other male archetypes like the Sigma male. They're like a bit like the alphas, but they don't care about the male hierarchy. They're just doing that thing. Yeah, they are actually one of the most healthy stereotypes there are. We also have the Gamma Man, the Delta Man, the Zeta Man. That's the new one, and
What is a Zeta man?
that's the well, that's the archetype of a more man that doesn't want to compete with others. That's actually more of a complainer. That's one of the toxic traits, complaining about everything. But they're also trying to find themselves out. Not many men are that, but if you know someone who's, like for an instance, an incel or red pilled, most of the times they belong to the Zeta archetype. Um, more information about that, I'm actually currently writing an ebook about the male archetypes. You can all discover them on my website.
Mm.
I've written about them
Yeah,
in Dutch. So
in Dutch, but
yeah,
you can always, with Chrome and stuff, you can always
yeah,
translate.
Google Translate is
Yeah.
great with that.
I
So
had a look as
yeah,
well. And I also had a look at, I don't know why I did this. I went on like Andrew Tate's
yeah,
Instagram and stuff, and I was scared. I don't know how anyone, it feels like a cult.
yeah. It
Like
is.
I
It
felt
is.
really unwelcome.
Yeah,
I felt like an outsider. But I guess that's what draws people in.
yeah,
It's that he really glamorizes it, doesn't it? He's not the only one. You've mentioned a few people as well. It's that, oh, when you learn to harness this, you can get the babes and the cars and the lifestyle and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Except thing is, his whole empire is built on misogyny. He's currently in jail or prison in Romania,
Hmm.
if I'm correctly, because he he abused women. He sold their bodies. Yeah, he is actually a criminal.
Hmm.
His cars are rentals. He just lives on his fame. He is a toxic idiot, and actually, I have a term for that, and that's called Vestlinger.
Fesslinger. Okay.
Vestlinger, a honorless coward.
Okay. So that's
Um,
it's not alpha, beta,
no,
zeta.
no,
It's
he's just
Fesslinger.
is a Vestlinger.
Okay.
Yeah, any man who looks up to him and says, "Well, I want to be him," dude,
Mm.
don't. You're going onto a path of misery, of hurt, of anger issues, of sexism, of misogyny. No one in their right mind would ever accept you again if you go on that path, because you will become a part of the problem that's currently residing in the world, where people can't express themselves for who they want to be. You are contributing towards an unsafe community.
I can imagine that for someone who suppresses their emotions, doesn't really know who they are,
Yeah,
right? That could be an attractive way
yeah,
to kind of, oh, okay, I don't have to self discover or do a silent retreat in Bali or something. I can
mm,
just, like, he's clearly with his facade successful,
yeah,
works for him, it works for his other
yeah.
minions.
Yeah, the shiny cars, the fast lifestyle, the six packs and stuff like that. It's all external shine. But when you look past that external armor, there's nothing left. It's all empty. It's there's no expression. There's no depth inside them. They're soulless, heartless, mindless drones that just repeat the same mantra from "I'm a man because I drive a big car." Yeah, no, no. I drive an old small car.
Mm.
Well, I don't. It's just a car, but yeah, okay. I I polish it a bit to make it shiny, but that's everything. You don't need a big car to be a man. You don't need the shiny jewelry. You don't need the big house or the fast clothes or stuff like that. No, what it means to be a man is to be empathetic. It means to be in control of your emotions, but also that you can express them. It means that you can be a stable and reliable person. It means that you are strong, but also dare to show your weaknesses. It means that you are who you say you're going to be, that you can be a safe person for someone else who needs them.
The person that pops into mind, I'm trying to think of like current leaders who demonstrate this, but I'm thinking of Marcus Aurelius, which is super far away.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
got appointed to being a king, to being in power. He was very emotional. He used to journal, etc. Very, very, very emotional leader. For the life of me, I don't know if I'm just peer pressured, but I cannot think of one male leader who really stands out as that, like, wow, father figure, and maybe it'll come to me. Gordon Ramsay, perhaps.
yeah.
He comes to mind.
If you look at Gordon Ramsay, if you see him well, lash out towards adults, like the one that meme with, "What are you,
An
a
idiot
idiot sandwich?"
sandwich.
Yeah. And but if you see him with children in his cooking shows, perfect father figure. He actually knows what his strengths are. He knows what his weaknesses are. He knows how to help people become who they want to be. For example, in a series of Hell's Kitchen, there was one guy who came from a very problematic background, who loves to cook, to bake, to do everything, but he didn't had the opportunities to do so. But he got voted out of Hell's Kitchen. Mr. Ramsay said, "I'm going to help you become who you are. You're going to one of my educational centers, schools, to learn all the things about cooking, to be a master chef." That's it. He is one of the men I say, oh, look at him to see what a positive role model can be. Yeah, he's a bit harsh on his words, but well, that's his way. That's what people like about him. But in the core, he is a good man. He is an example. Another one is Renstricht from Emancipator. He's a soft man, a really soft, knows his emotions, knows how to talk to people. His heart and mind are on one line. And if you want to know how to express your emotions, how to work with feminism, to be a male feminist, look at him.
Mm,
Another one, for example, in the Netherlands, I say, is Tim Hoffman. I've met him.
mm,
Great guy, a positive role model. He knows that he is wrong sometimes, and he knows that he can learn. Yeah, he sometimes lashes out, but he always learns. If someone says to him, from, "Well, that was not uh, that was not really necessary to do it that way," he learns. Perfect. He knows how to express himself. He knows how to take control of a situation,
mm.
and he knows how to do things.
Yeah.
Another role model, more in my own circle, is my boss, Sean. He's an older man from the, I believe, the boomer generation. I don't know his age exactly. He is a positive role model. He said from, well, I don't understand everything, but as long as you're happy, that's it. That's all I want. You helped me get back up on my feet. You helped me uh, to do everything I needed to do to get back to work. And he is one of the few men who I consider not a boss, but a leader,
Mm,
a mentor. Um, his whole company um, is well. A lot of my colleagues are they all have backpacks,
mm,
most of them, and everyone can express themselves. Everyone can say, "From well, I can't work this way. Can we do something about
mm,
it?" He makes it happen. He is a good leader, a good boss. Um, the many people say, "From well, it's not about the salary or the pizza on Friday or things like that to why people leave." No, it's about the boss. I know I can earn better somewhere else, but I stay because he's good for me, because he is a mentor for me, because I see him as someone who I strive to be when I'm older,
mm,
and I want to learn from him. And he is actually also learning from me about certain things, and said, "From well, do what you need to do, and if I need to provide for something, just ask." And he does that. He is a great mentor, and that's more of a personal mentor figure for me. But if we look throughout history, I would actually say look at the Vikings, look at the old Scandinavians. A lot of people think from, well, they are hard men and very aggressive and stuff
Kind of
like
look
that.
like you
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
hair and
yeah,
the
yeah.
necklace. Yeah.
Yeah, it ruins on my
Oh,
arm. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Whoa, cool.
Um, a lot of people think that they are those aggressive brutes,
Mm.
but they were actually, for that time, a very progressive society. Women controlled the finances. Women were the head of the household. If a man was an asshole towards his wife, she could just divorce him. She would just have to,
Back then?
yeah,
Really?
she would just have to take his shoes, put them outside next to the door.
Serious?
You're divorced.
That quick?
That quick.
Quicker than
Yeah,
now?
and they actually had a goddess who married people who couldn't marry in certain communities. I'm not saying gay goddess, but I'm saying gay goddess. But
Mm.
yeah.
I want to play a game, just a quick
Oh
one,
dear. Yeah.
like a fireside game, where I just name you a celebrity or a fictional character,
Oh
and you
boy.
have to say either toxic, positive male, or
Oh.
alpha,
Oh. Okay. Okay.
or whatever you want. Donald Trump.
Toxic. Capital letters. Yeah.
Kanye West.
Toxic.
Elon Musk.
Toxic capital letters.
Barack Obama.
Good example. A alpha male,
Ooh.
but with some things that I consider not really great, but he was on the right path. I don't know what he's doing right now, but I would consider him a leader. Yeah.
Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
A leader. Um, Not alpha, but more like a sigma male. He tried to do what's right with what he had to work with. Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay.
Leader. Alpha.
Max Verstappen.
I don't know enough about Max Verstappen.
I
I know he drives really great, so
would say he's a really good team player.
yeah.
He is a bit hot-tempered, says what's on his mind, but he has a girlfriend with a child. He seems like a good second father.
Oh yeah, right.
Yes,
His
yes, yes.
girlfriend, a child. Yeah, he seems like a good person. Maybe a bit hot-tempered, but I think he's a great guy. From what I know of him. Yeah.
Maybe beta, because he's a good team player. Yeah. And he's not the boss. Yeah.
No, no, he has to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson.
With Peterson, it's most of what he says. He has a point, but at the end, his solutions, no.
I feel the same.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't go anywhere.
Yeah, he has some points. He touches nasty subjects. He touches everything people want to talk about, but his solutions are not there. They're not helping. So he has potential, but
He's when?
yeah, when, where, how? Yeah, it's yeah. He's a difficult one. He knows what he is talking
Zeta?
about. Hmm?
Zeta?
I don't know. I'm not going
Complains a
to.
lot.
Yeah, I'm not going to label him. I also think that labeling people in a certain group, yeah, just borders off a lot of potential. Well, with Peterson, I think he has some points, but his solutions are not it. Yeah.
I was thinking, because I was like, maybe people want, because we mentioned Tate and stuff and Gordon Ramsay, maybe they look up to someone like Elon or Barack.
Yeah.
And they're thinking like, am I looking up to someone horrible? Or am I looking up to someone actually genuine? And
yeah, I want people to think about who their heroes are.
yes.
So I had some heroes in the past, but they just fell through.
Who were your heroes? Were they Dutch? Were they like public figures?
Um, well, Elon Musk was actually one of my heroes in the beginning days of SpaceX and Tesla. I thought from, well, he is going to change the world how we do things. But as time progressed, we saw more and more of an oligarch coming up, of a fascist coming up, and when he made transphobic comments, when he said that his daughter was still his son, and that the woke virus killed his son, that's when he fell down. That's when I said, from, "Oh wow, did I even look up to this guy?" And then I read some more about him, where he came from, and my whole idea of him shattered. He was never that underdog. He was always a privileged kid. He did illegal stuff to get into the United States. Um, he is actually he's toxic.
Mm. So if I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, okay, I can relate, I want to change.
Yeah.
What's the first step? Are there other idols that they can look up to? How do they start expressing their emotions differently?
First of all, lose the idolization of people. Um, if you set someone upon a pillar to look up to, they will always fall down. If you want to learn from someone, you have to look them in the eye, see them maybe as a mentor, as a brother, as a father figure, maybe. Um, but that's a later point in the whole journey. Where you start is questioning from, who am I actually? Who do I want to become? What are my goals in life? You have to reflect upon yourself. From, what did I do in the past that was actually not good, was actually maybe cruel or aggressive? And how can I express my own emotions in a better way? Not just anger or screaming, but also how can I show happiness? How can I be a safe person? It all starts with self reflection. The thing I did uh, when I first got that little switch turned on in my head was look in the mirror and look at myself for, well, maybe I stood there for like a half an hour to an hour. And who I saw in the mirror was not who I wanted to be. I saw a dark, brooding, kind of evil person that just took what he wanted to, that just did what he wanted to without being concerned about other people's safety or stuff like that. I was scared of myself. I was scared of my past. And I got angry. I got so intensely angry that I just went for weeks going to a forest, just screaming, just throwing branches and tree trunks around and just letting it all out, all the pent up anger, all the toxic fumes inside my own soul, just let them out. And I promised myself, I am going to change. I am going to walk towards a destination, and I don't care where that destination is. All I want to do is walk a golden path towards my own healing. And um, when I decided that, I just sat down, I put on Spotify just random numbers. The first number that came up was Livjaberg from Wardruna. And that's, if you translate that, it's Healing Mountain. It's about a man who walks a path, leaves everything behind, like clothing, masks, everything he owns, just leave it in the snow, walk towards the top of the mountain to heal yourself. That song resonated with me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to walk my own path, to walk up towards the mountain of healing and make sure that while I'm walking, I'm shedding off my past. I'm shedding off all the old things that could hurt people, that could um that could make me pent up all my anger. I promised myself that I would listen to my emotions and communicate it. And that promise was the first step for me. Of actually the second step after looking in the mirror. After that, I asked my therapist back then from, well, what can I do actually? And she said, you're actually already doing what you need to do. You're already taking the steps. You're already questioning your old behavior, your old ways. You're actually looking towards a new horizon, towards a new future that will help you become the man you maybe don't know who you want to be, but who you're going to be. It's there, it's growing, and you're already getting your heart, your mind, and your soul on one line. And in that way, you're already turning into a good man. She said to me that I had said a quote from, is it better to be born good and stay good, or is it better to be born in evil and hatred and become a good man throughout your life? She said, you're the second one. You've been born in evil and hatred, and you're actually actively choosing to be a good man, to have a good heart. Yeah, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna fight against your inner demons. Um, you're going to walk against walls from your past that you need to crumble down, that you need to destroy. And it's going to be hard, but every hard journey is worth it. If you just sit there, sit back, relax, and do nothing, that's that's not it. What are you actually doing to make the world a better place? No. And then I said to her, well, I am going to walk my golden path and I'm going to help other men also walk that golden path. And even if I just help one man throughout my whole life to be a better person, I've done it. I've helped someone. I've done something to make the world a better place. And that's actually what my tattoo is also about.
Oh, really?
This is a certain number for me. That's the darkest period of my life. But I've translated it towards runes. There's no numerical system in the Elder Futhark. So it are the runes. And every rune, except the third one, has a special meaning. And it's placed towards me, so
Mm.
positive. But if someone with ill intentions comes at me, they see the negative side. They're going to get
Oh.
cursed.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
there's the whole meaning behind it.
Yeah. Wow. And it's amazing. Like the fact that you did the whole self-reflection, you looked at yourself
Mm.
in the mirror, which is really tough. I've tried to do it. You kind of look a bit distorted, don't you? Like as you look at yourself for so
Yeah,
long in the
yeah,
mirror.
yeah. They always say, don't look at yourself in the mirror in the complete dark. I did, because if you look at yourself in the mirror while it's completely dark around you, you're going to see your true self. You're going to look into your own soul. It gets distorted. It gets scary. You get frightened. You get completely horrified of what you see. But that's when you truly get to know yourself. Look into your eyes in the mirror in the complete dark. Don't say anything. Just look. Watch what happens. And you'll see yourself change into something that expresses who you are at that moment. If I look at myself now in the mirror in the complete dark, I see myself. I don't see any distortion anymore.
Mm.
Sometimes a little flicker or something from my past, but I can push that away. I know that that is not who I want to be. That's not who I am.
Mm.
And that's why every journey of self reflection starts by looking in the mirror. And after that, there are many books. There are books with 100 questions for yourself to work on every day. There are coaching books. There are, well, talk with people who you think could help you. Read blogs, read articles, but also read them outside of your bubble. Don't stay in your bubble. Always read something that's outside what you're maybe a bit uncomfortable with, just to know what other viewpoints are. Um, that's how I began. I had a blueprint of myself that was, well, conservative, hateful, really sour and toxic. I thought from, okay, I want to change that. What can I read that's completely different from me? And um, I began to read about feminism. I began to read about the difference between toxic and positive masculinity. Um, on the way there, I saw an ad of the Hair Brotherhood, a masculinity organization from the United States. And I thought, from, well, let's see what they have to say. And they actually helped me take the first steps. They said from, well, here are some speakers about positive masculinity, about the Jungian personality types, about the other male archetypes. They're all about men expressing themselves. That helped me along the way. And then there was um, a video call with Joe Sparadan of the Algis Guard, and he talked about how to help men through man circles, how to let them express their emotions, how to help them become better men. And I thought, from, that's what I want to do. That's exactly what I want to do. And from that video call, I thought about from, well, what do I want to achieve? Okay, I want to achieve positive masculinity in the Netherlands. So I need to focus on the Dutch region. How do I do that? How do I connect to men who do not know how to get there? It's also about design. It's also about styling. That's why it's black and gold with my own initiative. That's why the runes are there. The funny thing is, I started Golden Pad. I made the G and the P. I made a Gable and Petro of the runes. And what what actually the meaning behind those two are is a gift and a path. I didn't I didn't realize that at the moment. I just thought from, well, those are the beginning letters of Golden Path. But then in the Elder Futhark, the meaning was gift and path. I'm giving someone a path to walk on to be a better man.
Mm.
And I'm actually pushing down toxic manfluences in the rankings of sites. I'm actually pushing down all the
Manfluencers,
yeah,
by the way.
manfluencers. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually pushing down all the toxic stuff with my own site, because I talk a lot about the archetypes. I talk a lot about masculinity, about expressing yourself, about how to be an ally, how to be a friend, how to be a mentor, a brother, a father figure. And I'm, well, I said a few minutes back from, if I can actually help one, I've succeeded. Um, I've actually helped dozens already who started their journey, who talk with me, who read my blogs, who try to be a better man. And once said, I was going down a path of Tate. I was going down the path of toxic masculinity, how to be that idiotic alpha male dude. Now I am changing. I'm actually becoming more tolerant. I'm actually thinking about what it is to be a man, what it is to express myself, how to be more in control of my emotions. And he said, I'm I was never considering that I was such a toxic asshole towards ex-girlfriends, towards my male friends. And I'm actually changing that. And he's actually trying to contact ex-girlfriends to talk to them, and he wants to apologize for his behavior. And that's actually what I'm also doing with ex relationships. Um, I was an asshole. I now know that. And this is also why I've started that initiative as a way to say sorry. I did stuff wrong. I was an asshole. I was toxic. I was everything that is not safe. But I'm changing, and I hope on a good way. And I'm trying to be a better man, someone who you can call up and say, "Well, I see how you've changed. Let's talk
Mm.
once again."
And that's the beautiful thing about human beings, that we have the ability to
Yeah,
change, whether, like you said, you've been brought up in that environment, your dad does it, or your friends.
yeah,
And I think the biggest challenge people have is that they get so comfortable with a friendship group.
yeah,
I'm just thinking of all possible scenarios. How could I navigate that? Because like trying to influence your friends that are
yeah,
so embedded and they like fuck around, they treat women like garbage, they, I don't know, break stuff,
yeah,
vandalize stuff. Like it's hard to persuade them.
yeah.
But what would you suggest otherwise?
I actually last week I ended a friendship of 10 years with one of my male friends. Um, he was never outspoken about stuff. He just just cruised a bit through life and did just things because they happened. But I saw he was sliding down a bit towards the more red pilled side. And I already was talking with him about that stuff and saying, well, dude, I'm worrying about things. Last week, we were in a group call with a friend group about a get together to play some board games, stuff like that. And we were talking about the American elections, about the orange dude winning.
Mm,
Um, and he said, well, I heard a term I am completely supportive of. And he said, your body, my choice. And then he began a rant about queer people, about women, and it was horrible. And I said, dude, you just shut the fuck up right now. I said, is this a joke or are you being serious? He said, I'm being serious because um, I can't get dates, I can't get this, I can't get that. All I need to do is be supportive of others, and why is no one supportive of me? I said, dude, you're being toxic.
mm,
You're toxic. And I said, I can help you with that. I want to help you, but you need to stop saying these things. You need to listen to the women in your life, to the other people in your life that you're now you're spewing your vile comments on. He said, I'm not going to do that. I said, well, then you are not my friend anymore. I said, 10 years of friendship is going down the drain because you don't want to listen to other people.
mm.
I said, is that the choice you're going to make? I said, yeah. I said, well, okay, consider me your enemy from now on. And we just left. Um, with this example, um, I'm saying don't tolerate the intolerant. You can always ask, is this a joke or something? And if it's a joke, you can always say, well, please stop making these jokes. They are a part of the whole pyramid of violence. If you say one thing, like, well, we need to fight with other people because they talk different, or I will do her, or I will do him. If you can't say to people, stop doing that, it's okay to let them go, because some people can't be helped. But if someone is willing to learn and says, oh, I didn't know that my comment on this has consequences, that's just they don't know it yet. But then it's our job to say, okay, you said something stupid, but you're willing to learn. Let's find out where it comes from and what you can do to actually be a better friend, be a better colleague, be a better person. So talk to people. If they're spewing toxic and foul bullshit, ask them, is this really what you mean? Or is this just to make someone else angry?
Mm.
That's the key difference. If someone says, no, I really believe in this, and my opinion is the only right one,
Mm.
shove them out. You
Yeah.
ain't going to reach them. But someone who says oh, I didn't realize what I said is hurting people, you can talk with them. You can actually learn them that there are other ways to express themselves that do not hurt other people. And that is what we must do. And that is also the way to make sure that large groups of men, of other people, are not falling in the trap of Tate, of the extreme right, of the red pilled community.
Mm.
Talk to them. Don't dismiss them because they have concerns. They are afraid. Because most men who are now turning to the red pilled side, to the conservative side, are actually really afraid of what their position is in life. Because for hundreds of years, they've been the boss. What they said, that was the law. That was what happened. Now they need to share that space. And they don't know how to share that space. And they hear from, well, you need to be more into your emotional expressions. You need to be more open with stuff. You need to be more of a friendly guy. Yeah, how? Yeah, most men don't know that. Most men want to, but they have no clue how to do that. And that's why I'm helping them, because I've learned that from some very, very lovable people in the queer community that helped me get out of my dark past. And I'm teaching other men as a man on how to be a better person, how to actually give space and take their space, but making sure they're not um, taking the space of others, but be in their own bubble, but also be considerate of other bubbles.
How can I be an ally as a woman or as a queer person or not as a man? Or as a man, actually. Yeah. How
Yeah,
can
yeah.
we all be allies to this movement?
Um, it all starts with listening, talking, and not just hearing people, but actually listening. You can hear, but you can't listen. But if you listen, you also hear. So talk with people, talk with someone outside of who you normally talk to. If you, for example, you live in a small village somewhere and you've, well, or you've never heard about a certain religion or a certain cultural group, try to look them up, try to learn something, try to talk with someone and say from, well, I want to learn, I want to know about you, but I have no clue where I should begin. Most people, they say from, well, okay, come with me, and they talk about it. That's also to be an ally towards queer people is listen to them, listen to their struggles, listen to their pain, and ask them, okay, I am uh, I am a white male. How can I help you achieve what you want? How can I help you to make this world a safer place? Um, and how can my privileges actually help you in on the whole way, on the whole path? That's it. Listen, talk, find each other, try to make a community. Don't be a toxic asshole. If you don't know something, ask. Don't, well, they say mansplain all the time.
Mm.
Yeah, don't assume that you know everything. You don't. You don't know everything. Um, there's always someone who knows more than you. And most of the times it's the one you're talking to. They
Mm.
know more than you do.
Yeah.
Don't assume that they know nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Uh,
And I'm just envisioning like men in my life, not Jamie, but like other people I may consider as toxic or betas. I think they're alphas. And I can just imagine like listening to this and getting triggered. But then you're
that's
a
good.
guy.
Yeah,
You're a guy.
yeah, yeah.
You've been through it. You've walked
I've
the
been through
walk.
it.
So they can't be angry at you because you are
Yeah.
them.
The thing is, I'm a white male. I can say to a white male, "You're a fucking asshole." Yeah.
By the way, we're not hating
No,
on
no,
men. This is
no,
not the thing. I don't hate men.
no,
Like I have male friends. I love my father very much. I love my husband very much as well. I like men. That's not the
no,
thing. It's not bashing genders or
no, no.
nothing
Exactly,
like this.
exactly. It's not man hating. It's not misandry. How that's called. The thing is, misandry is actually a very toxic way of living. Just like the 4B movement right now. That's actually learning toxic men that they're toxic just by just by women taking back everything they have. They can say from, well, I don't have to listen to your toxic ways, just go away. Perfect. Do it. Take control.
Can I say
Do.
that to my boss? I'm kidding. Maybe wipe that out. Just a
Yeah.
hypothetical. No.
It's actually take control of your own life. Take control of your surroundings. Um, Make sure that the toxic elements can't spread any further. Contain them within their own sphere. Make sure that while you're doing that, that there's always an opening to learn, to talk, to communicate. Um, if you go to find things and you start to hate men, uh, watch out that it's not going to be real hate. Yeah,
Mm.
hate the toxic male, hate the Tate, hate the Musk, hate the Trump, and tell your male friends who are trying to do better, tell them how they can do better. Be like, tell them to be like Gomez from the Adams family. That man is in love with his wife, with his train set, with his swords, with everything. He just experiences life as if he is in love with everything. He is a positive male figure that's in the media. He is, well, maybe not the brightest, but he does everything out of pure love, out of pure happiness, and out of pure emotional expression about who he wants to be and how he sees the world.
Mm.
He is a positive role model in the media.
Hmm.
So,
I was thinking of Shrek as well. I know he's not real, but Shrek was
yeah,
great.
the movie Shrek,
He-
not the book Shrek.
oh
That
no,
one,
no, not the book.
oh
No,
no,
no, the
the book
movie.
the book Shrek is something else completely. It's a great reading tip because that's just what is happening all the
Yeah,
time. But the movie Shrek, it goes from a closed-in guy that just wants to be left alone and hates everyone. He goes on a journey of self-expression and
on the
he
Golden Path.
on a golden path, and he actually explains it with the onions. From onions have layers and stuff like that.
And when he gets frustrated with Donkey
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
and yeah, he makes mistakes, but he does what he sees as right. And throughout the movies, throughout the series, we see him grow as a man, as a father figure, as a mentor, as a friend, and he actually tries to better his life. And well, yeah, he struggles, he falls down, but he always gets up again.
Mm,
And in the end, he is authentic towards his own self, towards his past. He knows what he did wrong. He knows who he wants to be. And he actually helps people, even when he's a bit grumpy from, here we go again. He still helps.
hmm.
He's still a positive influence and he still tries to be a better man throughout the whole series, throughout the films.
What a beautiful way
Yeah.
to end this
Yeah.
episode because Shrek is a king.
Yeah.
Shrek is a king,
Shrek is
low
a
key.
king. Yeah.
This is tradition now. I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
try and shuffle cards. I'm not very good at this. But I'll leave it up to fate to ask you a question. Feel free to read it out. But I'm very curious what you come up with as a final question. Excited.
Oh. Who has had the most significant impact on your life and why? It's going to sound a bit egoistic, but myself. I turned my life around. I chose to be a better man and I chose to make the world a better, safer, and happier place. And through all the people I've known, they all gave something to me to think about, to look at. But in the end, I had to do it. I had to make the switch. I had to make the change. And when I made that switch, when I made that change, everything just came together. All good things were just coming in. Um, I've met people, I've talked to people, I've changed people's lives already. And yeah, it sounds a bit egoistic to say that I have had the most significant impact on my life, but that's true because in the end, you are the one who you begin your life with and end your life with. Even if someone is holding your hand when you pass away, you are the one who was at the beginning and at the end.
And it goes in beautifully what you said before about not holding people on the
Yeah,
pedestal, looking up. That should be you.
yeah,
Beautiful. That was amazing. What a good question. What a
mm,
good fitting question
yeah,
that you picked. Amazing.
yeah.
Your
That's just fate. Yeah,
this was amazing. I mean, yeah, I've learned so much. I mean, I'm not a toxic man or anything. I don't think I am. But
mm.
it was really insightful and I feel like people might get triggered, but then
Yeah, but
they will
that's
learn.
okay. If they get triggered, that means that they know that something in them is screaming, this needs to change. And if someone gets triggered and wants to talk, they can find me. They
Yeah,
can send me a message on Threads, LinkedIn, or through my site, Instagram DMs. Just message me. I'm open to talk and I'm willing to talk.
beautiful. Thank you so, so much for coming by.
Thank you for inviting me.